Hey everybody, it's Margaret with Forward Kind Heart. First of all, I want to thank you for being able to do the day and time switch with me. I had a schedule change, and so I really appreciate your flexibility, and I'm really excited to continue to support you guys in your dreams. So a little bit first about who I am. So I am Margaret with Forward Kind Heart. I provide shamanic counseling and coaching for people. So basically what I do is I blend modern psychology with ancient wisdom and energy work to help facilitate change and healing. I love the work I do. I'm blessed every day by the people that I get to work with. I also love empowering empaths and starseeds and highly sensitive people to really embrace their gifts and then help them to use them and also create rituals and practices so that they don't feel everything so intensely. And why I'm here, because I love dreams. I love working with the imagination. Our imagination is such a powerful tool, and it really does help facilitate healing in our lives. And it's fascinating. It's really fun to work with our dreams, and it can be very powerful. If you want to participate, of course, join me live. That's one of the best ways, because then we get to interact and you get to share with me how you're feeling, if you're agreeing with what I'm saying, if there's something else going on. So yes, live is the best way. You can watch it on replay, and you can also message me and share your dream with me, and then you can always watch the replay. And if you're afraid to share your dream, you just let me know. You can use my dream, but I don't want you to say my name or anything that people would know that it's my dream. That's perfectly okay. I'm always so blessed when people share their dreams with me. So let's go ahead and get ready. I've got the candle. It's always good, and I do this to help us to start to really, create those practices that honor us, that help us create that sacred space, when we're getting ready to do some deep work. And then hello to everybody who's watching. So then I'll go ahead and I will pick our card, and then I'm going to talk about the dream. So tonight's theme is chaotic and religious dreams. So this dream came from one person, and it does have a religious tone to it in the beginning, as well as so many dreams feels very chaotic. A lot of times when we're dreaming, we seem to be just jumping from place to place and just being all over the place. And so that's really normal as we're working through dreams, and our dreams are bringing us material to work with. So dreams can feel very chaotic, and then how to work with that, because sometimes we feel overwhelmed when we've had a really chaotic dream. We're not sure the best way to work with it, and we can get really confused. And so we'll talk about how to work with chaotic dreams. And so the card for today is the cow. So beautiful card. These cards, I've talked about it before. It was a Kickstarter campaign. They're the Hollow Valley deck of symbols, and one reason I chose them to work with dreams is because they are based in symbols and also have a multicultural aspect to them, and took several religions and cultures into consideration when she started to create the cards to really help people with symbolism. And so the cow is gentleness, devotion, patience, stillness, and family. So I always love when I pick these cards, because I always feel like they relate somehow to the dream. And so actually, since this is a very chaotic dream, I have it written down, so I apologize if I'm looking down. So there's a bunch of little girls in blue robes, and the blue robes have hoods. And this almost makes me think of, if you watch The Purge, the people that sacrificed themselves were wearing blue robes. This dreamer said the blue robes were a dark blue. She says that they're practicing and reenacting, and she is a child, and her father is with her, and he's sitting behind her, and she has no place to sit, so she's sitting on the floor with the other children. And then she's at a lady's house, and she's an adult again, and she says that the lady is very pretty, and that the lady is an artist, and the dreamer wants to work with the artist. She said it wasn't traditional art, and she really couldn't remember what the art was. She just remembered seeing shelves and the lady telling her that she had created this stuff. And dreamer really feeling like she wanted to do that as well. And then the dreamer is now, she's somewhere else. She's with her boyfriend and they're visiting his family. And she says 5 male cousins arrive and they just take over the whole space. And so she needs to get downstairs and they're sleeping in sleeping bags on the stairs. So she's having a hard time getting around them. So then she needs to go to the bathroom and it's like a swinging door on hinges. And she says, they just keep pushing the door, pushing the door. She can't lock it. She can't keep the door shut. So she just kind of gives up. She's like, whatever, I'm not going to go to the bathroom. And then she goes to charge her phone. And she finds like the cord, but then it's missing the plug-in. And so this upsets her as well. And so she's very angry. And that's when she wakes up. So again, there's a lot going on in this dream. This dream is very chaotic. And, you know, dreams move a lot. Think about our lives. You know, in our daily lives, we are not just, well, maybe some of us may be very stationary, but in our daily lives, so often, you know, we are going from like one place to the next place, to the next place, to the next place. So we're constantly moving. Like we get up, then we have breakfast and we go to work and we're in traffic and then we do our stuff at work. And so dreams can really mirror, you know, that flow of what we're doing in our daily life. And so even though when we wake up, we feel it's very chaotic, it really is mirroring that flow of everything that we have going on and all the different emotions, you know, that we feel going through the day. So when we look at this dream from the dreamer, she says in the beginning she was feeling confused, but also very happy that her dad was there. Her dad is deceased. And so she was feeling supported having him there, but like I said, also very confused. Then with the lady, like she says, the lady is very pretty. She really wants to work with this lady. So she's feeling inspired and the draw to be creative. And then the next part of the dream, she's angry, right? Because there are these people, they're taking over, they're disrespecting her privacy. And so think about that. Like those are kind of like what we go through every day as far as emotions. Now, why I said religious and chaotic dreams is because this dream starts with a religious theme, right? She is, she believes she's in church and they're reenacting or practicing something. She can't remember what. I know that this dreamer was not raised religious. So this would have felt probably very out of context for her or very uncomfortable. And even if it's not like a traditional religion, right, there's this aspect of ritual, of practice, of something going on. And so her looking into where does she have that in her life, and is she honoring this? You know, does she have daily practices, daily rituals, daily things that are going on in her life, and does she honor those? Because there is that piece where she is engaged in like practicing. You know, that's what she said, that they were practicing or praying. And so just checking in. And, you know, so often if somebody isn't religious, then they get a little spooked. Or if somebody is religious and this brings them comfort. So looking at like if you have a dream where you're praying or you're in church, really look at what the feelings are behind that. Did you feel peaceful? Did you feel on edge? Did you feel whatever it was you felt? Because this is going to give you a clue. I would say for this dreamer, dreaming, practicing, that she was doing something, praying, practicing, to really look at where she has that in her life, if she needs more of that in her life. And when I say prayer, it's up to you, you know, how you pray, if you do pray, or maybe you don't pray, but you love to be in nature. It's whatever this means for you. Prayer really is, you know, how you're connecting with yourself and a higher power. And, you know, and if you don't believe in that and you have this dream that you were praying, you know, really looking at what does that mean for you and what does that bring up for you? This could be shadow for some people. You know, if we're judging it and we're reacting strongly, like in adverse way, so if we're reacting adversely to this, then I say there's probably some shadow there. For most people I work with, most people I know, even if they don't have a prescribed religion, usually praying does bring them a sense of calm. For this lady, she said it felt very chaotic just because there was no place to sit and it felt like there was a lot of people showing up. So she really didn't feel like she had a place to be. So that's, you know, look at that. There's praying, there's practice, and she doesn't feel that she belongs and she doesn't have a place to be. So looking at her self-care practices, the practices that help her feel connected to herself, the practices that help her feel connected to Mother Earth, of the practices that help her feel connected to spirit or whatever it is she believes in. Because it sounds like right here that she's missing that. And her father coming in to be a guide for that, you know, because he's sitting behind her and she felt very supported by him. And so that's, you know, that religious piece. So with religion dreams, really looking at first what emotion is invoked in us. Did it bring us calm? Did it bring us anxiety? Did we feel judgmental? And then taking those and then seeing like if we need to incorporate something into our lives, if we're being called to something. And so that's the best way to work with religious dreams. Sorry, my nose is itching. So the next part, she is, I feel like this next part is pretty straightforward. I feel like she's being called to her creative side. I feel that she may look at creativity one way in her dream, and it's showing her creativity as something else, because she had said like it wasn't like painting or anything like that. It was like the lady created something. And so being able to look at where she can create, what can she create? You know, we are all creators in our own world, in our own lives. And so I feel like this dream is like saying, hey, you can create whatever you want. Does it sometimes take work? Can it be frustrating? Can it be hard to create whatever we want being a creator? Yeah, being a creator is not easy, but for her to look at what it is she's being called to create. She felt in this dream it was talking about art, because the lady had created art and the dreamer was feeling envious or jealous. She wanted to work with the lady, and the envy and jealousy really was coming from that place of, you have what I want and I don't have it. And that's great, you know, when we realize in our dreams that they're showing us that, yes, I really want this in my life. I really need this in my life. So that's, you know, I think that's pretty, you know, straightforward there. And also, you know, because she said the lady was pretty. And again, she had mentioned like this. She was kind of envious and jealous of this woman. And so this woman having what she doesn't want. I would challenge the streamer, you know, find your own beauty. If you're looking at somebody and you're envious of their beauty, it's because you have beauty too. So tapping in and finding her own beauty. So then the last part of this dream, being at her boyfriend's house, it wasn't a house she was familiar with, and this part of the dream has a couple different aspects. First, the 5 large men, so very masculine. Jung would talk about this as being the animus, like her masculine energy. I would think, you know, I look at it as like, how does she deal with qualities of being masculine? How does she deal with male qualities? Because they're 5 big men. I wonder if she was intimidated by them, or if she felt she could stand her ground with them. The fact that they were sleeping in sleeping bags on the stairs, so that feels very, think about like a dog. When a dog submits, right, it lays down. Sleeping, these are non-threatening activities. When somebody's laying down in a sleeping bag, it's a non-threatening activity. And she had to get past them on the stairs, and she felt like it was a hard thing to do. So that's very interesting, right? There's these men sleeping in sleeping bags on stairs, and she's trying to get down the stairs. And it almost sounded like, when she told the story, that there was a fear, you know, that if she woke them, it was like awaking the beast. And so what part of her own masculinity is she afraid to wake up? What part of masculine energy is she afraid to work with? What part of maleness feels threatening to her? And really looking at that, and then finding ways in her daily life to work with this so that she does feel comfortable with whatever part of masculine energy she is struggling to feel comfortable with. Then the fact that there's really a lack of privacy in this dream. There's really a lack of respect in this dream, right? The fact that they took something from her, they didn't ask. They also, while she was going to the bathroom, and when we go to the bathroom, that's pretty vulnerable. We don't want to be disturbed while we're going to the bathroom. You know, it's a very private thing, and they kept pushing the door open and it kept swinging, and so she had no privacy. So having her look at where she feels like she doesn't have privacy, where she feels that people are disrespecting her boundaries, especially people with strong masculine energy. I believe that she did say that the person that kept pushing the door was very childlike. And so looking at where like male childlike energy she feels is in her life, and perhaps not respecting her boundaries, not really honoring what she has to say or who she is, and violating that. So really looking at that, as well as, you know, them taking the plug into the charger. So again, this is another way that she's feeling violated, that she's been disrespected. And so I would wonder, how does she feel about her voice? Is she able to advocate for herself? Is she able to voice her concerns? Is she able to voice her feelings? You know, how is this working for her as far as being able to advocate for herself and speak her truth? You know, I check with her, you know, how is it for you to speak your truth? Is this something that you do with ease? Is this something you struggle with? Is this something that you have a hard time with? So that she can really look at what is going on for her as far as speaking her truth. And so there was a lot of components in this dream. And so when we have very chaotic dreams, the easiest thing to do is what I just did: break it down into bite-sized sections. And then you can go back and piece it together. And so then what you're doing is you're looking for the thread. What is the common thread through the dream, right? So this dream really is about her finding her truth and really advocating for herself. Like, if I had to sum it up, that would be it. There's a lot more layers in it. I would encourage this dreamer to really start to do those things in her daily life that honor this dream. You know, speaking up, speaking her truth, finding that beauty, like really honoring her creativity, because it sounds like there is this very creative aspect to her that she's not honoring, because for her, she's put creativity in a box. And so for her, creativity is something in this box instead of looking outside of the box, you know, because creativity can be anything that we want it to be. You know, how many times do we creatively manage our money? How many times do we creatively speak to somebody? How many, you know, we use creativity all the times, getting home from work, you know, when traffic is really bad. And so really extending that. And so, you know, that's what I would advise her to do. Trapping it into the cow, you know, there is this lot of family. Praying is a still activity, you know, and going back to that, you know, for some people, meditation is a form of praying. And so really looking at what these things mean. So this was a beautiful, very active dream, which is always fun. And so that's my take on this dream. So if you have a dream that you just don't know what's going on, or maybe you want a second opinion, that's always great too, because we can interpret our dreams one way and then share it with somebody and they have a completely different spin on it, and that just gives us more insight. So being able, you know, to share your dreams here. So I look forward to seeing you next week. Again, thank you so much for making this change with me. And again, I want to thank you all for all of those of you that share your dreams, that watch this on the replay, because I know a lot of you watch it on the replay, because I know we're all busy and we all have a lot going on. And yeah, send me your dreams, because I would love to help you understand them. Bye.